Hi, what's good, losers? We got another video from Asmon. He's reacting to why AAA games have no soul, and I wanted to react to this. React to his reaction mainly as like a form of a conversation type shit. You feel me? An indirect conversation to talk about just just to talk about games. Honestly, like I just feel like AAA games have always been soulless because it's just like my take on AAA games is basically like they make these games as just money. That's it. That's it. They just want money, so they make the games as safe as they can to get as much money as they can. That's why they try to cater to the largest audience that they can, as much enough people as they can so they can get the most money. That's basically all they do. Like it's not even like, oh, if the game is fun already, they're gonna just leave it and just probably make it more fun. Nah, fuck that. If the game is fun for a handful of people, but it's not fun for the majority, they're gonna fucking change it. And it's fucking dog shit. It's dog shit, but let's get into this. Let's get into this.
Why most AAA games have no soul.
What is happening to the studios we loved? How can they make some of the greatest games of all time, then turn around and just make disappointment after disappointment? It felt
Money.
like the end of AAA games, but then Elden Ring came out.
Yep. Wait, am I in the picture? Oh, okay, all right, good, I am. I thought I was about to get, like, just taken out. All right, I'm about, oh, man.
Why is Elden Ring such a breath of fresh air when most other AAA games feel copy-pasted? And why did this game cause so much
One,
controversy?
see, thing is, like, it depends on the game. Because you can't compare a game like FIFA to Elden Ring. That's two totally different genres, two totally different people that make games. FIFA is coming from fucking EA. Nobody ever looked at EA and was like, yeah, they can make a good fucking game. Let's be real here. Nobody was ever looking at EA and is like, they're gonna make the next banger innovation game that's gonna come out. No, nobody looks at EA like that. Everybody looks at EA and like, yeah, they just make these games because they just want more and more money. Like Elden Ring, realistically, like it was such a good game for so many people. Mainly because, well, number one, it comes from the fuck is their maker? FromSoft. They make good games. I've seen all their games and all that shit. They've been making good games for the longest. What the fuck did you expect? Like what the fuck? Why would they all of a sudden make all these good ass games and then all of a sudden just say fuck it? This next game is gonna be like dog shit. We're just gonna do what everybody else is doing just for money. Why would they ruin their own reputation like that? Like they just wouldn't. Now they could one day. Like you feel me? They could one day, but why would they do that? So like I don't know. Like really comparing those two type of games, like you just can't compare Elden Ring to everything.
Elden Ring is Game
Oops.
of the Year? The game is
It's not shit though.
Man, to answer these questions,
To be fair, that guy speedruns the game. So yeah, he hates it probably more than Quantum does.
we first need to understand
That's
that
happy
when
hop.
Elden Ring came out, the game
Shit, I
was
would have played
defined
this if it was
for its
multiplayer.
expectation.
Like
Elden Ring
full on
well
co-op
beyond
multiplayer, like
first two
Or no
release.
hits to the
straight.
Miyazaki, the mastermind behind Elden Ring, was surprised by the success. And to put the
Which I
sales
think you
into
can do
context, Elden
multiplayer a
Ring
little
at
bit, but
release was on pace
it's
to sell the
it's
same
not the
amount
main
of
focus
copies as some of the best-selling open-world games
at all.
of the last decade. GTA 5, Skyrim, and Breath of the Wild. I mean, if you really think about it, Elden Ring should not have been performing as well as these other games. Don't get me wrong, Elden Ring is an incredible
Why
game.
wouldn't it?
But
It's a
most
good game.
FromSoft games are pretty niche and usually target
They're extremely niche, and they also don't have a bunch of like established IP, like Legend of Zelda or Grand Theft Auto. Like
It don't
boomers
matter.
know what Legend of Zelda or Grand Theft Auto is. They don't know what Dark Souls is.
more hardcore
That is true.
and advanced.
But it do not matter. Let's be honest here. Like we've all said in the gaming community, you make a good game, it will pop off. It's that simple. All you have to do is just make a good game. That's it. That is all. That is all. That's it. Just have a good game. Your game just has to be good. It's not that hard. Now, depending on your following and your background, like your game coming up from nothing to something like Among Us. Like Among Us it came out in what 2018. Nobody knew what the fuck it was, and then all of a sudden in 2020, it was the world's biggest game everywhere. Like, you feel me? Like it just takes time sometimes, and then other times it just is what it is. But realistically, all you gotta do is just make a good game, and people will play it.
Player base. By nature, FromSoft games shouldn't sell as much as Zelda or GTA. But
That's
this
a
time,
lie.
Elden Ring did. Why? What was different about
Why would
Elden
you,
Ring,
like?
and what set it apart from
It's not,
other
it shouldn't.
FromSoft games? The answer?
It's just shocking that
Nothing
it did.
really. Yes, Elden Ring was
It was
open
good.
world, so unlike other Souls games, you could avoid certain bosses and areas. Yes, the
Yep.
lore was some of the best I'd ever seen in a game. The world was so immersive that I don't think I could ever find everything in the mysterious world of the lands between. Seriously, Elden Ring is a masterpiece. Go play this game. But I would argue that almost every FromSoft game is a masterpiece too. And just like the other Souls games, Elden Ring still targets a hardcore player base, and the gameplay is still punishing as hell. So why
Elden Ring is a fucking joke. All of the games except for maybe Sekiro are a fucking joke.
Nah,
You have
Sekiro
trouble-
goes crazy. Sekiro goes crazy. I watched the whole gameplay. That shit looked crazy for mechanics. I was like, what the fuck is that?
in Elden
Crazy.
Ring on a boss. Ding ding. Summon the fucking hats. Yes, almost. Yeah, get good.
then is Elden Ring capturing a much larger chunk of the gaming market? There is a huge demand for high quality AAA games.
Oh,
and not much of a
absolutely.
You think?
supply. I mean, imagine you're at a restaurant and you have a hankering for some steak, but they're out of stock.
Okay.
All they have left is some burnt scraps of cooked steak they can shovel onto a plate, or you can get a delicious
Seems good to me.
honey-baked ham with a sweet honey drizzle.
Oh,
So although you
ham.
wanted a steak, you choose the honey-baked ham because the steak scraps just aren't edible. This is the
Hey,
trend
honey
that
is fire.
we are in right now. Millions of
What the
gamers
hell do you mean?
looking at the piss poor options, praying to Gabe, the god of Steam, to give them anything fun and exciting. It doesn't matter what genre, as
Mhm.
long as it's good. Just give us something edible and satisfying.
That's a fact.
When Elden Ring came out and the world saw how amazing this game was, people who were originally intimidated by Souls games looked at Elden Ring and said, screw it, let's try it out.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that came in and they started playing it because of this. And I think this also happened on a much lesser extent with Demon Souls. The reason why Demon Souls might have been more accessible is like Demon Souls is a joke of a game. It's very easy to play, easy to beat, but also it required having a PS5. And I think there's like 700 and something people in the world with the PS5 right now. So limited audience there. PS3, I am looking at a clip of the remastered version of Demon Souls. I am not talking about PS3. I am talking about PS5.
Nothing else to play. So like the guy choosing the ham over the burnt steak, I would argue that Elden Ring's meteoric success is not only a byproduct of how good the game is, but because there's such a small supply of good AAA titles right now.
Yep.
Elden Ring really is the best option on the menu. However, like every industry, there will be people who hate or love something purely because of its popularity. And man, do we have a few in the gaming industry. But
Oh, bro, I'm so tired of that. Like people that hate games, hate things because they're popular.
surprising this time,
That shit is stupid.
many of the people who hate Elden Ring are developers at other studios.
I wonder why.
Infuriated by Elden Ring's success.
Yep.
Developer who said, Elden Ring's UX is so bad that I can only imagine FromSoft's devs smoking at their desks and using CRT
We watched
monitors.
this
I
video.
guess these developers felt that the game violated certain tenets of game development, and by violating these rules of development, Elden Ring didn't
I remember
deserve
this
its
one.
success. Why would these devs be so angry about Elden Ring's success? Who cares if Elden Ring didn't follow the rules of
I can see why the devs would be mad, because most of the time whenever people talk about Elden Ring being good, people are like, man, it's not like those other games. Those other games are fucking garbage.
Well, there's a reason
Elden
behind
Ring
that.
is good compared to that other game that's garbage. So yeah, it's because they're being compared with it and they're being told their game is garbage. It makes sense that they're
Well,
not
they gotta
really
hold
happy
that.
about that.
game development.
Nah, they gotta hold that. They gotta hold that shit. If you don't like that other people are comparing your game to this game, just make better games. It's not that hard. Just make a better game. You don't like the comparisons? Alright, make a better game. then maybe people will compare your game to the Elden Ring and be like, your game's better. Shit. You want to get mad? Just start competing, little nigga. That's crazy. Pick your head up.
Not like Elden Ring's success
Fuck you doing?
affects them. Well, mostly. I can see
Right.
why developers at Guerrilla Games were upset. Elden Ring released only 1 week after Horizon Forbidden West, so you could say that Elden Ring overshadowed the hype around Horizon. So Horizon possibly didn't perform as expected. The reason is petty, and in no way Elden Ring's fault, but at least I can see where the Guerrilla devs' frustration comes from.
There
But
you go.
why were Ubisoft devs so upset? None of their sales were affected by the release of Elden Ring. Now, remember, these were only a few people and not the whole studio who were angry at Elden Ring. However, the response from gamers to not only these devs, but Ubisoft as a whole.
Well, I think also like a lot of this is like a meme. I'm sure that Ubisoft makes plenty of good games that are fine, and I haven't played one of their games for quite a while, so I can't really
I was
say.
about to say I haven't
But
touched
yeah,
any
I'm
of
sure
their
they
games
probably
in
make
decades.
good games sometimes. No? Maybe I should play one. Maybe I should play one and really find out for myself.
What games did they even make? I don't even remember. I'm gonna be real with you.
Gamers are tired of playing the same thing. We are tired of the formulaic nature of Ubisoft in most other AAA games.
Sure, yeah. It has a satisfying shooter-looter game loop, the graphics are great, the mechanics are well-tuned and executed, and the story's acceptable.
Bummer?
Yeah! It's exactly the same as all other Ubisoft games. It's just another copy-paste.
You see, when every user interface, every store, and every game looks relatively the same, we notice. It's like hotel.
I love how you can look at, like, the one thing that you will always be able to understand. You won't be able to understand the character menu. You won't be able to understand the
Can
game
understand the
menu.
store,
You won't
though.
be able to understand what's happening on the screen. But goddamn, you will fucking understand immediately what the battle pass is. And if
Yup.
there's a gotcha system, you're gonna see, okay, this is the current banner. This is the basic banner. This is the the special like promotional banner. Okay, these are the modifiers that increase the banner characters. Okay, yep. And then there's your 2 currencies that you need to buy with your 3rd currency, and then you buy your 3rd currency with your 4th currency. But you could also buy the 3rd currency with this currency from the store, and then you use that currency what you buy with your real currency, and then there's an exchange rate of 1 to 100. But if you buy $100 of it at a time, you get 20% off for your first purchase. So it's actually a little bit like, yeah.
Sounds about right.
art. Each piece of art is theoretically different, but somehow feels and functions exactly the same. So when the first few Assassin's Creed games came out, they felt new and exciting. Running around the Holy Land or Rome, leaping off buildings, sneaking or hiding in hay bales, it was unique. But now, I can barely tell the difference between Assassin's Creed gameplay and every other Ubisoft game. Ubisoft thinks if they just change the era and location of each game, we won't notice.
Well, it clearly is true that people don't notice because you just posted their sales figures, and it seems like people don't notice. So, like, let's keep that in mind. Number 2, I think that one of the reasons why these companies choose safe options is the same reason why we get a new Spider-Man movie every other year. Or a new Transformers movie or something like that.
Nah,
Because
we haven't had the
everybody
Transformers
knows
movie in years.
Spider-Man will sell. Transformers will sell. It works.
It's been a while.
And a lot of these companies have massive amounts of money riding on these investments, and they can't afford to have an L. That's the real reason.
I mean, one has knives and one has guns, right? But just like hotel art, they may look different, they don't feel any different. It's the same game with a new coat of paint. This reason is why Ubisoft devs reacted the way they did. They have been taught that to make a successful game, you need to follow a formula. So when a studio like FromSoft makes...
But the funny thing is, you can make games that are the same. COD has been doing it for years. It feels a little, each game just feels a little bit different from the last, but that's about it. Realistically, it's the same fucking game over and over and over and over and over again. They're doing the same thing Ubisoft is doing. Realistically, if you really think about it, COD and Ubisoft, same shit. They do the same fucking shit, same game each and every goddamn year. But the thing is, it just has to be a decent game. It don't gotta be amazing, but it has to be a good game. You feel me? It just gotta be good. That's about it.
Elden Ring, without the formula, and it's incredibly successful, it infuriates developers who have had their creativity restricted and pushed into a box. Now, these devs
Okay,
who
then
criticize
leave and join
FromSoft
something
should
else.
take full responsibility for what they said in a public forum. However, I also blame AAA studios like Ubisoft.
I get so mad about people that put out a hot take on the internet and then they get mad whenever people respond to it. It's like, bro, whenever I tweet something out and I get a bunch of hate for it, I don't cry about this. Like, yes, it might annoy me because I think they're wrong and I'll vent about it. I'll be like, oh, these guys are so fucking stupid. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm getting harassed. No, like people disagree. That you're not it's a discussion. It's a disagreement.
It's harassment,
What's
man.
wrong with people,
it's
man?
crazy.
Stop talking if you don't want people to talk back.
Forcing their teams to create unimaginative copycats of their previous 10 games. We can get mad at a few devs all we want, but the real problem comes from the Ubisoft's executives choosing to be formulaic. But
Well, there's nothing you can do
are the
about that.
leaders of Ubisoft and other AAA studios hellbent
It's
on
safe.
producing the same type of game?
That's
Why
why.
force your devs to work on the 100th Assassin's
Oh my god. I know what that is. That's the bird from Dark Souls 1. And he's on a computer. Bro, why is he on why is a bird on a flat screen computer?
Bro, he's learning. Come on now. He's advancing. You never seen that before. Never in your life.
Oh my god. Like that's a
Creed when they want to work on something new and exciting? The answer? Stability and money.
Yep,
This may be
there it
obvious
is.
to everyone, but milking an IP over and over again is the easiest way to make money as an entertainment company. It's
I mean, they've resold Skyrim 10 times over the last 10 years.
That shit's
the
crazy.
reason why we've had a new Call of Duty 19 years in a row, and also why 2020
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
This is the second version of Modern Warfare 2. That's right. And it also includes Warzone 2.
Yep.
The popular sequel to the popular game called Warzone that was a big favorite in 2020.
Yep.
2022's top 20 best-selling games are
Sounds
all
about right.
existing IP or sequels.
Let
The
me
top
see.
20
Existing IP, well, obviously, like number 2, Elden Ring is not. Let's see, FIFA, yep, I'd say so. Man,
best-selling games are all existing IP or
I would argue that Sonic Frontiers is unique enough to probably not be counted. Sonic is an existing IP, and so categorically he's right by saying this. But I think Sonic Frontiers, the reason, okay, listen to why I'm saying this. It's because the premise for Sonic Frontiers is a completely open world game, and it is something that Sonic has never tried before. It's a
true.
new avenue of video game.
Even though they did it very poorly, but you know,
You see kind of
they
what
tried.
I'm saying? It's an
They did
open
try.
world game, yeah. Yes, they have.
Where?
But it's still Sonic. Okay, so like in my mind, I think that whenever a game deviates enough from what its original premise was, it effectively becomes a new game. Even though it's not a new game, it effectively becomes one. That's how I see it.
They're trying new
He's
shit.
saying IP? No, I understand that. I'm just saying that, like, in functionality, I think Sonic Frontiers is more unique. Like, okay, can we agree that FIFA 2022 is about the same as FIFA 2023, much more so than Sonic Frontiers was about the same as the previous Sonic game? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. Please just come on, and you can say that with any of these other ones.
That's just common sense,
sequels,
but people are
except
stupid,
for
so
Elden Ring. Seriously,
they
look
don't
at this.
understand that.
Elden Ring is the only
Oh,
game
my neck.
on here that is a new IP.
Categorically
What's even
accurate.
more crazy
True.
about this list is that 2 of the top 20 games a new IP. What's even more crazy,
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I wonder who the guy was that was like, okay, guys, I know you're going to laugh, but bear with me here. We release Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, again. Well, what are we gonna call it? All right.
I mean, they're just re-releasing games they've already fucking put out. I think Vanguard and Cold War were the only new goddamn like CODs we've gotten in the past 3 years. In the past 3 years, those are the only two new CODs that we got, and they both dropped in the same fucking year. So we had 3 years we had Modern Warfare, then we had Vanguard, then we had Cold War, all basically right next to each other, and people were just going back and forth in between those three games. And now we got Modern Warfare 2, which is better than the other three, but then dog shit compared to the other three at the same time. We're probably about to get another one this year. They're probably going to be Modern Warfare 3. Who fucking knows, man?
Get this. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That's crazy.
That guy right now, youngest junior vice president of the company.
Crazy ideas right there.
Made him a lot
Revolutionary.
of money.
About this list is that
Never
2
seen
of
it
the
done
top
before.
20 games were Call of Duty games. And
Call of
3 of
Duty's
them
decent.
were sports sequels, which
And
are
people love
notorious for being
sports.
the exact same as their predecessor.
Yes,
No,
sir.
they're not the same because they changed the numbers on the jerseys. What do you mean?
Never seen that before.
We want, but we're
Crazy.
the ones buying these soulless games in droves. And for companies to
They put gambling sponsors in it.
come up with brand new games and IP is risky. So studios will make sequels for as long as possible if we keep buying them.
Yeah.
So I don't ever see studios not making sequels when we buy them year after year.
Well, what
That
else
said,
are we
there is a
supposed to
negative
fucking
effect
buy?
on
What do you
your
want
brand
from us?
when you don't release something new or innovative. Think about it. What is one of your favorite games? Remember when that game was released and how you felt about the developer of that game.
Yeah.
Pretty good, right? Then think about that
was
specific
Blizzard.
developer's most recent games. How do those new games compare with your favorite game? And how do
I mean,
They've basically improved my favorite game.
I feel like it's like From Software, obviously I'm very happy about. I with Blizzard, I like Dragonflight and I actually like Overwatch 2. Weird situation there.
Yeah, you lost your mind.
With Nintendo, I feel like Nintendo takes so many shots, they miss a lot of their shots, but I'm actually really looking forward to playing Sonic Frontiers. I haven't played it yet. I'm going to play through the whole thing.
you feel about that developer?
Nah, my favorite game, my favorite game in history right now is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Because I loved Xenoverse 1, and then I played Xenoverse 2. Bro, that shit's elite, bro. I fucking love that game. Now, if they make a 3, oh my lord. Oh my lord, bro. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. But I don't see them doing it because they're still dropping DLC for it. Fuck. I need it. I need a 3. I need a
Probably
3.
not great. For me, it was Blizzard and Warcraft 3.
Aha.
This game made Blizzard my favorite developer, and I wouldn't allow a bad word to be said about them. But now, Blizzard has released cash grab after cash grab,
Yep.
not to mention everything else they have done. And I can't help but look at Blizzard with
Well, they did. You got to keep that in mind. And done is also past tense as well, so minor nitpick there. I mean, there's no evidence that there's any sexual weird stuff happening at the offices, and there's no way it could happen because in Preach's video, nobody was at the office. Problem solved. Well, we don't have any more problems of sexual harassment. Yeah, because nobody's there. There we go.
What a fucking excuse.
Totally issue solved.
What the fuck?
disappointment. A bad game happens sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But Blizzard hasn't made a good game since 2016 with Overwatch. Not to mention they somehow butchered Warcraft 3 with the
I would say, I would argue that I actually think that I think Dragonflight is a good game. I also think that Legion in a lot of ways was ultimately a good game. And I would even go as far to say that I think Overwatch 2 is a good game.
Overwatch 2 is Overwatch 1. It's the same fucking game. They just reskinned it and made the characters older. It's the same game. Let's be real here. It's the same game. And then he says Dragonflight and a whole bunch of other shit. Ain't that just expansions on top of a game that already existed like 20 years ago? So realistically, they haven't made anything new. If you really think about it, game wise, they haven't made anything new. So I don't know about that one, Chief.
That's right. I will say it right now.
Unless the expansions are so big that it's basically
And
a whole
by the
new
way,
game, but I don't know.
While
I have
we're
no
on the
clue.
topic, why the fuck does
Oh.
every other fucking person get sponsored to play Overwatch 2 except me, and I'm the only person that goes out of my way to defend it? What a bunch of shit that is, huh?
Mhm.
The release of Reforged.
Can't believe it.
I just can't imagine defending Blizzard anymore. The Blizzard brand has fallen from one of the greatest video game developers to a company that is compared to EA. But as we saw with Blizzard in the beginning, the opposite
I feel like that's also like there's a certain amount of like gamer circle jerking that's happening there. Because like EA, it's in the game. Bro, people love Madden. People love these games.
I don't get why, but they do.
Like, try to
And I've
step
played them.
outside of your fucking little box and realize that there are a bunch of people that buy the new game every year and they love the new game because they like playing those games. It might not be popular on YouTube commentary, but just because you're not the target audience doesn't mean the game is bad. It's like whenever I go and I watch some, like that, like weird, like fashion dress-up game on like the Nintendo Direct. I'm not the target audience for that game, okay? I'm pretty sure I'm not. But guess what? Somebody else is, and they might like it. Yeah, like most mobile games. Yeah, exactly. Like people are just so, yeah, FIFA's massive. Yeah, FIFA's huge. Huge bad take, Asmon. Explain to me why that is a bad take. FIFA and those sports games for normies anyway. Yes, they are. That's who they're there for. It's an objectively money grab game. Every game is a money grab. What are you talking about? They're making all of them for money. All I'm saying is that these games that people are shitting on constantly, maybe have you ever considered that they just weren't made for you?
Sounds about right.
Like, I don't understand. That's what people want the new Madden. They want the new game with the new jerseys. It's stupid, but they want it.
When you release something new that just blows people away, like Elden Ring, gamers will have your back. Even if the game isn't perfect. I mean, look at one of the biggest controversies on YouTube, featuring the Act Man and Quantum TV.
This guy made a video saying like Elden Ring sucks or something, and he hates everyone that plays Elden Ring. So Act Man made a video about like the worst take in Elden Ring.
The drama from these Elden Ring videos escalated to way more controversial stuff, like bigotry, copyright, demonetization, and the Act Man trending as the number one.
This was a war.
That shit was
story on Twitter.
fucking
All this stemmed
weird.
from arguments about Elden Ring. Why? Because FromSoft had gained some huge.
No, it's because all of these fucking self-appointed, like fucking, they're like the musical hipsters. They're like, yeah, I don't like Drake. I don't like Kanye. Like, I don't listen to any of them. Like, my favorite artist is Aesop Rock. And, I don't listen to any popular music. Anything that's on the radio, like, they totally sold out. They're, like, so bad. It's just like, what the hell's wrong with you? Aesop Rocks, he's great. He's fucking amazing. None Shall Pass is, like, one of my favorite songs. But listen, so is Drake. So is, fucking Kanye. Absolutely. Yeah, they're also good. It's just people whose personality is not liking what's popular.
Points for releasing pure art. And like any extravagant piece of art, people will have visceral reactions, both positive and negative, which is also why people get so angry when you change the story and lore of video games with TV shows like Halo or The Witcher. I mean, Witcher 3 was a beloved game. And a piece of art to
people don't get angry that you changed the lore. People get angry that you made the lore worse. Very different.
So many people. Not to mention the comics. So when you mess up the story and lore in the show, the community isn't toxic when they react negatively. They are passionately asking for you to respect that piece of art as they do. Now, all this said, I don't just want to bash on
Oh,
AAA
sheep.
studios and walk away. True constructive criticism should have ideas for improvement, not just ranting. So if I had the opportunity to consult a AAA studio, I would suggest the Pareto principle to be applied company-wide. This principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, is the observation that roughly 80% of consequences come from 20% of causes. One company effectively applying this technique is Google. During my time at Google, I saw how they allowed their employees to spend 20% of their time working on something the individual thought would most benefit the company. Both Gmail and AdSense came from this practice, and the former made Google more than $54 billion just in 2022. A more applicable example is Fortnite. The original Fortnite
True.
concept was developed from an internal game jam put on by Epic.
And it's also, there's that, and then some other examples of that is that pet battles in WoW that are like a big popular feature. People like them, and like obviously, you know, again, maybe we're not the target audience for that, but a lot of people do like pet battles. They were made just by like one guy. And a lot of things like this have just been made by like one guy. He just came up with this idea, and there it is.
Games. Although they don't strictly follow the 80-20 rule, a game jam is just one example of its application. Letting your team take time to work on new and innovative ideas. Just pure creativity with no deadlines. And creativity is the key to a company's longevity. You
Yeah, creativity doesn't make money though. That's the problem.
need to constantly innovate to stay alive, and it's what the AAA industry desperately needs right now. So how can we get more games like
My
Elden Ring?
God.
AAA
My
studios
God.
need to allocate 20% of all their resources to working on new and innovative games. No deadlines, no parameters, just pure creativity. Let your developers work part-time.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna re-release Assassin's Creed again. Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do instead. Yeah, let's release Assassin's Creed again and see if that sells. Oh, it does? Oh, remember that game you used to play? We'll play it again.
That's exactly what's
on
gonna
something
happen
they're
too.
passionate about, and be amazed at what they'll
Dumb
create.
shit.
I'm not saying stop making sequels. As we saw, AAA studios make a lot of money from sequels, and sequels aren't always
yeah.
a bad thing. I'm stoked for a Hollow Knight 2, and I pray for a Warcraft 4. However, for AAA studios to be profitable while garnering the love and support of the gaming community, AAA studios should look at Elden Ring as an example to stop making formulaic games.
Can we also admit that Elden Ring was very formulaic in a lot of ways? It's just that they used the From Software formula. It was extremely formulaic. But you can go from playing Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring, and like 80% of what you did in Dark Souls 3, it's like, oh, I get this. I understand that. Okay, this works the same way. Okay, so these are Titanite shards. Got it. Okay, and all right, so this is where you upgrade your gear. Got it. All right, so this is Firelink Shrine. Okay, Round Table Hold. Okay, and then, okay, so you can use parry with the smaller shields. And then, okay, heavier weapons. So you have more poise, right? Okay, got it. Yeah, like a lot of this. So it's not about the 80-20 rule. It's about either one of these numbers being a shit number. Yeah, it's a bad foundation. The reason why it worked well, and the reason why everybody, like, one of my most popular videos recently about gaming was about that Dark Souls 3 mod. That's the main thing.
While applying Pareto's principle to let their developers conceptualize and build masterpieces we all will appreciate, like Elden Ring. Hey, thanks to everyone who joined our Discord and submitted their favorite indie games for this week's video. The indie game our community voted as their favorite for this video was Inmost, made by Hidden Layer Games.
I don't know what that
it's
is.
a puzzle platform game, and it's currently being sold on multiple platforms. So go check it out and join our Discord to let us know what game we should feature next.
I actually think this was a pretty good, what do you call it? This is a pretty good game. I mean, a pretty good video. I liked it a lot. And so Elden Ring is 80% Dark Souls 3, pretty much 80-20 the main. Yes. Yes, Chip. No, I think this is a great video. I liked it a lot, but the only part of it that I disagree with is the fact that I don't like how there's so much of a fixation on like this 80-20 rule or whatever, because I just don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the reason why this stuff happens is very simple, It's just because these games are safe options. They're easy to go with. There's no problems with them, and that's all there is to it. Yeah, it's very easy to do that. I think the problem is not that the problem is not that they're not being creative. It's that the foundation that they build off of is bad. That's why everybody gets hyped up for a mod of Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3, but they don't get hyped up for an entirely new game of Assassin's Creed. That's the difference. It's because the foundation is boring. That's what I think. And also, again, like, these games are meant for the wide audience. Because you've got to keep in mind, oops, wrong one. So this is the this is the entire gaming audience, right? All video gamers. And the people that are actually talking and playing video games are like this. So it's like whenever you make a video like this, it's only going to its maximum reach is going to be here, whereas the marketing for something like Assassin's Creed is going to be out here as well. Smaller? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of people that consume gaming media. There are a lot of people, because I was thinking about that too, but it's not like it's a 1% situation. I think it's a lot, probably 20%, 25% of gamers do.
Quite a lot.
But I mean, like, unless you're including mobile games, things like Candy Crush. But I'm talking about, like, AAA console games, etc. I would say like 25% of people, probably somewhere around there, consume content about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's impossible to say. There's no point arguing about the size of the circle. All I'm saying is that sometimes games like this Assassin's Creed game and like FIFA are made for this brown area, not the green area in the middle. They're made for that average, everyday gamer that just plays video games. They like FIFA, they like sports, and that's it. Brown? Yeah, okay, all right. I'll put it as blue, okay? How about that? Do you feel better about that?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I dazed off, and I was over here thinking about what the hell I could make with the circle. I was over here drawing spaceships and shit, like drawing details on it with my mind. I was not paying attention, but realistically, I agree with most of the stuff that happened in this video. Most of the stuff they're talking about. Um, every game basically has its own formula. Let's be honest. They all have their own formula. That's how they build off most of these games, and they just make it more efficient to make other games based on off of that formula. It just makes it easier for them. But like Asmon said, not every formula is good. So once your formula isn't good off rip, the rest of your games are just not going to be good. It's just how it is, and like the modded community is just broken when it comes to games. They are fucking amazing. Like they just add so much shit to games that it's wild. Like what's one game that came out? Rounds. Like Rounds has a pretty good basis, foundation of a game. But then the modding community just took that and just fucking went crazy with it. Like modded rounds, if you look at modded rounds and then you look at normal rounds, the shit that you can do in modded rounds just triumphs. It just squashes anything you can do in normal rounds. It's crazy. Same with Risk of Rain and Minecraft. Oh, especially Minecraft. The fucking Dark Souls mods that you can find, and Elden Ring mods. Like mods just completely change games so much that like eventually one day we might even get another batch of games that are like Dota 2 and all these other games that were mods that basically were mods for one game and became their own game in the future. Like I'm excited if we get games like that in the future. Like I'm pretty fucking excited. I need games. I've been playing the shittiest fucking games. Like there's just nothing. There's just nothing to play. And I really want games to play. So I'm hoping people make some god tier games, and yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.